How's it going, Jets fans? It's Ryan Moran and Ali Ashraf here from Fireside Jets, coming to you a couple of days after now the Jets and Mike LaFleur, offensive coordinator of the last 2 years, opted to part ways. Pretty big decision that I think a lot of Jets fans feel pretty strongly about, one way or another. In one sense, I think you look at LaFleur and his pedigree, really what he comes from with his brother Matt, obviously working with Kyle Shanahan for his first 7 years in the NFL, and obviously with Saleh and his relationship with Matt LaFleur, Kyle Shanahan. There was a lot of speculation, and you just factor all that in with the talent that LaFleur has. I think he runs a very popular, trendy, modern day scheme. In which there's a lot of pre-snap motioning, right? Obviously, that kind of helps in the running game, helps off play action, and you kind of make things look the same. So LaFleur has a lot of talent, but I think this year, we got to see just some of the issues offensively and why it was really tough to retain him, I think, for the Jets. Obviously, the last 3 games were pretty tough. I think you look at, really all year long, like the usage of Elijah Moore was one thing I felt pretty strongly about. And, why LaFleur, it was going to be tough to keep him, in my honest opinion. And, it's definitely something that's generated a ton of buzz, throughout Jets Nation over the last week. And now the Jets really gear up for an extensive interview process. So, Ali, what were some of your thoughts and takeaways on the Jets and LaFleur parting ways? Really your thoughts on his performance last year, and what you think was the best decision here for the Jets.
Yeah, for the Jets perspective, I think it's a move that had to happen. I feel I am not totally against LaFleur just because he had to work with 3 quarterbacks this year. He didn't know which quarterback he'll have on the field that week. And that's tough for any offensive coordinator. And he was a new offensive coordinator. He was new to the position, and he didn't have much help. So that is a big time, for an offensive coordinator. You can't really grade him off of that just because he doesn't know which quarterback is going to be out there, and the game plan was not great. Now, putting out the wrong plays out there, the right plays were just never for LaFleur. LaFleur always messed up plays in the red zone, especially. And it was pretty awful to watch. We would make it down the field and not be able to score touchdowns, and that cost us a lot of games. And hopefully whoever we bring in can figure out how to score in the red zone because the Jets knew how to move the ball. That was simple. We knew how to move the ball. We just couldn't coordinate everything, and everyone was not on the same page on the field and in coaching. So, LaFleur has talent. He's coming from, again, a very respective coaching tree. And he will probably find a really good home somewhere else, say where he can. I think he's gonna maybe go to the Rams. I think they're rumored with McVay, so we'll see what goes on there. But he'll have success wherever he goes, and I actually like LaFleur as a candidate for any team. But I think for the Jets' perspective, I think they had to move on and find a different option because they're ready to win now, and especially now that we're looking for a different quarterback, it would be the 4th quarterback LaFleur would be working with. So, it's something that we just need to start off new and see which quarterback they're looking at in free agency or in the trade or whatever it is, even in the draft, who knows, that they want to get, and connect that with the coach, an offensive coordinator, so they're all on the same page and they can work things out. But with LaFleur, it was exciting when we got him, when we got Salah and got him that as a package deal. But now I think it just had to move on.
I'm with you. I think while LaFleur, and I'm a fan of his, and I think the second half of 2021 was some really impressive stuff. Just didn't really see as much of that this year, I feel like. And committing to the ground game for 4 full quarters and most losses that the Jets had this year was a huge problem. Like I said, the Elijah Moore stuff, even with Denzel Mims, I feel like that was a very frustrating situation that was mismanaged. And, I think while LaFleur is talented and I am still bullish on his future, I think right now for the Jets, like you said, just his youth as a play caller, the change needed to happen. So now obviously the Jets, have very many candidates, on their list. They're going to do a pretty wide, extensive search here. And some of the names that have been thrown out there so far: Darrell Bevel, Joe Brady, Nick Cali, Brian Johnson, Kevin Patullo, Marcus Brady. And there's been more of speculation, no official buzz yet confirmed on guys like Todd Monken, Greg Olson. So a lot of different candidates. It seems like the Jets really aren't limiting themselves to running a Shanahan type of system. They're going to really keep it all open to just going with the best play caller. And I think that's what they have to do. They still have an offensive staff that's going to need some positions to be filled. So this coordinator will probably have, some pull on who rounds out the staff offensively, which obviously the Jets have, a lot of moving parts, and to get this offense where it needs to be next year. It seems like as of now, Bevel is the favorite. And it seems like people are pretty torn on him. Obviously, he did some good work with Matthew Stafford in the past, but some of his recent work maybe doesn't impress people as much. Ali, what are some of your thoughts on Bevel and the rest of the candidates, who've been brought up by Jets Nation and, with official buzz, on interviews so far?
Yeah, I'm not liking all the names that have been interviewed. Definitely not the tight end coach for the New England Patriots. But it's Bevel is a guy that I feel like is top tier right now for the Jets. I feel like he has offense coordinator experience. He knows how to work a team, and he has connections, obviously, with the coaching staff in a way where he's known around the league. He knows how to coach a team. He knows how to move the ball, and he has a lot of experience, and that goes a long way for any team. Um, Depending on what his view is, what the quarterback position is, and if that goes along with Robert Saleh and Joe Douglas and what they're trying to do, and who they're trying to bring in, maybe that's an ideal place for us. But there's still a lot of other candidates out there. There's still Cliff Kingsbury that we haven't talked about. He's still available. You never know; he could be an option. I do like Kevin Patula. I think that's a guy that is going under the radar a little bit just because he has a lot of connections with Joe Douglas, and he obviously was a quarterback coach a couple of years ago for the Jets, and he obviously knows the people in the building. He obviously knows Joe Douglas from his time in Philly, so that's a connection I could see happening. I mean, it's not like a big upgrade from LaFleur. He's not God. But if you were thinking about the home run hitter, is Todd Monken if he wants to come out of college and coach with whoever quarterback he wants to work with, because Monken is a guy who's kept the Georgia offense insanely impressive through a couple of years now, and he could probably come in and change the entire offense of this Jets team and whoever quarterback they want to do. If they go out and get Lamar Jackson or whatever it is, Tom Monken probably would have a lot of fun using Lamar Jackson in an offense. So, I mean, that's the pipe dream for us, but you never know. But he is getting a lot of buzz from other teams. Several teams are interested, but I don't think he'll ever leave unless he's getting a boatload of money.
I'm with you. I think Monken probably would be the dream scenario for the Jets. Obviously, Frank Reich has been another name that's been tossed around out there, but
Mhm.
it still seems pretty early in the process. I mean, they've only, I think, completed like one or two, maybe three interviews up until this point. And there's been, as we just said, so many names like the Monkins, the Greg Olsons, the Reichs of the world who have been thrown around out there and for good reason. Obviously, they would be exciting hires and, but there's still nothing official yet. And I think, the point you really hit on that I agree with is just the fact that, solid JD with so much at stake going into this upcoming year. I think that experience is going to be a pretty pivotal part. Like you said, someone like Patullo, who was with the Jets, has experience in the league. It's definitely going to be fascinating to see as this process ramps up. And, there really hasn't been a ton of buzz over the last couple of days, but, with teams getting eliminated from postseason play and things like that, it should continue to pick up. So hope you enjoyed this episode, Jets fans. Like, subscribe, comment below on your thoughts on the Jets offensive coordinator search, who you would prefer. And Ali and I will be back with some more Fireside Jets content on the way. So have a good day, Jets fans.